you don't really ever learn how to not feel deeply about someone if they're just that person, but people learn who I can deal with and not fall deeply for. So, okay, I can be with this person and maintain emotional control. They don't take me there, so I don't ever feel like I'm too vulnerable in this situation.
Do you think a lot of women choose the safe guy as opposed to the right guy?
Absolutely. And the safe choice is almost always, if not always, the wrong choice.
Oh man, why is a safe choice always the wrong choice for a woman?
So think about it. In order for it to be safe, it means you are not deeply invested. You may be invested, it may be deep compared to certain people's perceptions of deep, but it's not as deep as you know you can go. It's not as deep to where you feel like you'll be devastated by it. So you're starting from a deficit as far as, I'm not fully into this. I'm not fully into this guy. But again, he may be good enough for me to work with and try to be with. But because you already have a built-in void, so what happens is this, she chooses this man, she's not really into him. Let's say she's not that attracted to him. And it's not that he's not a good looking guy, she's just not attracted to him like that. Well, because you don't have that attraction, you're not gonna pour into him at the same level that he needs you to. You won't be as intimate with him. You may not talk to him the way that he wants to be talked to. You're not gonna give him the same energy that you would someone you're actually very much attracted to. Well, that void, initially he may not catch on to that or let that bother him, because if he is indeed a man who is of a lower position than her or lower quality than her, he may just be happy to have this woman. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I have her. So he's infatuated, he's going in, he's blinded by his desires for her. But at some point the smoke clears. And then he realizes, wait a minute, okay, I have her, but I'm not being treated the way I want to be treated. If as a man you are seen with an attractive woman, a high quality woman, a desirable woman, you become more desirable to other women. I've talked to friends where they've even gone to clubs. They'll go there with a woman and they'll get more attention.
Wow.
And when that woman walks away, some of these women will try to slide in and slip in a number here and there.
Why do women do this? Why? It seems like women don't have ethics or don't have integrity, as opposed to saying, hey, I appreciate and I'm happy for you too. Why is it that some women want to get in there and try to, quote unquote, steal the man or influence the man to stray?
Well, so it starts with the fact that women have this perception that quality men they're not in abundance out here. Yes, they're very scarce. So when you come across one, or you think you come across one, a lot of them have the mentality of, oh no, I have to try to get my foot in the door and see if I can get this for myself. Plenty of women who have taken a man from a woman, or who have accepted that man leaving one woman for her, and to her, she's good. As long as she's getting what she needs, she's good. But I do think that in the back of their head, once something starts to go wrong, that's when those thoughts start to creep in.
I wonder if he's talking to someone else. Why isn't he giving me the attention anymore?
Exactly. And now, and I think it's even more likely that someone who knows about the situation will remind her, well, you got him this way, so you might lose him the same. And now the insecurities really start to kick in and it starts to become a huge problem.
What do you think is more important, sexual attraction or spiritual attraction for a woman?
I'm gonna say spiritual attraction.
More than sexual
But
attraction.
I'm saying that with hesitancy. The only reason why I'm leaning towards spiritual is because I believe that women value intimacy, non-sexual intimacy, way more than actual just raw sex, okay? So if you had door number one, hugs, kisses, caresses, being emotionally available, door number two, just straight sex. Most women are choosing door number one. Most men are choosing door number two. And so because of that value for the deeper levels of intimacy, I feel like spiritual attraction kind of fortifies that. Whereas sexual attraction may not get them those things. So that's why I would pick spiritual attraction.
Wow. What would you say for any guy listening or watching, if they wanted to attract the woman of their dreams, or essentially any woman that they really desired, if they wanted to attract that, who would they need to become in order to set themselves up to attract an incredible, lifelong, loving partner who gave them a fulfilling, joyful life?
I would say they would have to become their most confident masculine self. Whatever that looks like. It's gonna look different for every guy, but at the foundation of it, there must be confidence in who he is, and he must exude that masculine energy. Not saying there aren't men who can't get them a loving partner, not being the most masculine dude, but you have a better chance at achieving it when you can walk in your masculine energy. That's the power of the man.
What if there's a man who's extremely masculine but lacks confidence? What type of partner does he attract typically?
Well, I think lacking confidence, it undermines the masculine energy. It's hard to be that masculine presence if you are lacking in self-esteem, lacking in self-respect. The things you're gonna allow a woman to get away with is gonna start to cause her to lose attraction for you. So it's almost like if you become her yes man. A lot of women don't want a yes man. Most women don't want a yes man. It might sound good to some initially, but over time, she gets tired of the fact that you can't think for yourself, that you aren't giving your own perspective, that you aren't confident enough to stand in your own vision and your plan. So that immediately takes you out of your masculine energy, because now you're trying to become so accommodating to the point that you've lost yourself in that process. And that doesn't work well in the long term. I mean, whenever you hear stories of nice guys being run over and getting played, it usually involves this man who is just trying to do everything the woman wants and just putting all his desires to the side to make her happy. That doesn't work. Not like that, it doesn't.
That's kind of like the safe man, right?
Yes.
So the safe man is not always the right man, is what I think I heard you say, right?
It's almost
typically.
always.
But doesn't a woman want to feel safe in an environment with their man?
Yes, but the safety that's being achieved by picking the safe choice is, I don't have to be too vulnerable in this relationship. So I'm able to guard myself from devastating hurt and disappointment that I've probably experienced at least once before, at least at a level that I felt like I don't ever want to go there again. That's very different than the man who she is completely invested in, completely in love with, and he understands the need to provide safety and security for her, the need to make the situation or the relationship more stable for her, where she can rest in her feminine energy, so to speak, while she's with him. That's two different types of safety.
So it's like, okay, if you choose a safe man, but essentially it sounds like that's a space where you don't have to fully open up and be vulnerable. It's a space where you probably know you're in control, where you're probably have more value to offer, or this person is desiring you way more than you desire them.
And that's the big one. It's a situation where she feels like he wants me or he loves me more than I do him. And that's where they feel like it is safe. But again, it doesn't work in the long run. Never. What's happening to so many women is they become detached from their femininity, or they're viewing it in a negative way. They're viewing it as weakness, as when I'm feminine, I get played, I get taken advantage of. And so the mindset is, if I find the right man, I can be that. So you'll hear a lot of women say, well, I am feminine in a relationship. The problem is he can't see that far in to know that he wants to get in a relationship with you.
If you can spot it quickly, it's a quick essence of seeing either a man or a woman if they're in that masculine or feminine energy, right? You can see it, how they walk, how they talk, how they look at you, how they carry themselves.
Yes.
You can feel it in a few seconds probably.
Yes.
So if you're guarded and you're not allowing yourself to flow in that energy, someone's going to see that and they're going to be, not as attracted to you. You're going to be repelling.
And what's going to happen is, and I'm sure you can vouch to this, once a person heals, spotting hurt, dysfunction, trauma, it's easy now. It's like your eyes are now so wide open.
Crazy.
When we're not healed, we make excuses for it. So I think that's what a lot of people don't realize is, if you're still guarded, the reality is you're guarded because you're holding on to hurt that you have not resolved. You're holding on to fear due to past experiences. Well, healthy men can see there's something wrong and I'm not going to go down that path. As you said, not only not only are we afraid to ask certain questions and discuss certain things, but it's like we don't want to face the possible reality of this situation. So we keep everything on the surface. We keep it at the sex. We keep it at hanging out here and having fun. And yeah, we get along with each other's friends and blah, blah, blah. And that's great, but we're not diving deeper. And it's because I think deep inside, we may know that once we do, this may not work anymore. And so we don't want to have to face that. We don't want to have to let go. So we keep kicking the can down the road. So I definitely think by removing, the more we can remove any distractions that impair judgment, the better. So sex is something that can definitely impair judgment. I'll give you another example. I knew this one guy, he went on a couple of dates, and the first date I think was a concert, and the second date was some kind of other festivity. And I said, listen, don't ever take a woman to a concert on the first date, because here's the thing. One, there's a huge distraction, the concert going on. It's not really an opportunity for you two to dive into each other. Two, even if you guys don't really mesh well, if you have fun at the concert because you guys love that artist and you love that atmosphere, well, that's clouding your judgment to seeing, but we don't really like hanging out with each other like that. See, hanging out with each other in fun environments that we already enjoy, that doesn't qualify it. It's, can we sit in a room with nothing going on, just talk and actually enjoy each other's presence? That tells us if we really like each other.